Got one thing done, and now we're going to record, and we should be good to go. All right, ladies, here we go. So, welcome all of you that showed up today. We have 48 people registered for today. I called Indy and I said, "Wow, girl, you are popular." Or, I guess I should say, Instagram and YouTube is a popular discussion, right? That everyone wants to have. The big question is, how can I become a bigger influencer on social media? It's so freaking hard, you know? And I can't figure it out. That's why who you're going to be meeting today, who's Indy Rossi, she handles all of Lead Up for Women's social media for Instagram. And so all the content that you see that pushes out through Lead Up for Women is Indy. And so that can give you an idea of her brilliant writing skills, gives you an idea of her content that she creates. It's very much tailored toward Lead Up for Women. And so she can do that for you as well. And as you know, ladies, this platform that we have here today, and for all of you watching on Facebook, hello, this platform we have here for you today is created so that you as a member can share your brilliance. Women love this platform so much because we promote them. And like I said, Indy has 48 people registered today, so 48 people for her to follow up with. And generally, the odds are pretty good that she has an amazing offer for you today. So I know that it's going to be something that's palatable for all of you to increase your engagement. And this is a great way for you to not only expand your influence, but expand your clientele and attract more clients. So if you're not a member of Lead Up for Women, this is one of the most popular platforms that we utilize for our members. So I'll drop the link in there. And any of you that are interested in signing up for Lead Up for Women, you can do that today. And you will automatically be able to get yourself registered for one of the upcoming Teaching Tuesdays. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Indy on here. And I met Indy, how long ago would you say, Indy, that I met you?
I think it was August 2020.
Okay, so last
Yeah.
year in the middle of the horrific pandemic was
Mhm.
when I met Indy, and I was super impressed by her. I met her at a networking event, didn't know anything about her. She shows up with this badass portrait of herself, you know, behind her that says she has 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. She built that in 8 months. She's got 50,000 followers on Instagram. And I was like, how the hell did you do that? I want to know who this person is. So that was the first thing that attracted me to her, because I was just like, how does someone do that, right? We all ask the question, how do you guys do that? And I wanted to pick her brain. And then when I met her and got to know her, I mean, obviously, look at her. I just fell in love with her. She's just the sweetest person ever. And we work together. We work together not only with Lead Up for Women, but, you know, she's involved in several other things that I do. And I recommend her to anyone who is looking at how they can not only maybe have some presence on YouTube, but also how those play together, right? Instagram, how you can make, you know, YouTube can lead people to your other platforms, as well as just the consistency, right? I think that's what we struggle with the most. We all know we just need to show up. It doesn't need to be the perfect you. You just need to show up. And that's what I love about Indy. She doesn't ever worry about perfectionism and showing up perfect. She just shows up. A lot of her videos are her on her morning walk in the mornings, right? So we do a lot of things where we could video ourselves, but we don't. And I'm wondering if we're limiting ourselves. So Indy's here to talk about how we don't need to be limiting ourselves and how we can have success and what success looks like on Instagram and YouTube. So, Indy, it's all yours.
Thank you, Colleen. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Let's see. I've got my slides here to go through, and I'll be asking a few questions throughout. So feel free to put in the chat and I will read it. I'll have to make sure to go back and forth. But yeah, so thanks for coming. I'm going to be talking about Instagram and YouTube in conjunction for a few reasons that I will go into. But one of the ways, and to answer your question a little bit, Colleen, one of the ways that I was able to grow my audience so quickly, since it did happen in 10 months, less than that, I had 100,000 subscribers on YouTube in 4 months. So that was really exciting. But one of the ways that I was able to grow my audience so fast was just by using multiple platforms at the same time. And I know a lot of people generally try to, I don't know, they don't want to do the extra work. They don't want to post consistently on social media because it does take a lot of time and a lot of energy because there's vulnerability that goes into it and that perfectionism. And I appreciate what you said about me not being a perfectionist, Colleen, but I have struggled with that in the past. So just this journey that I've been on has helped me get over it. So I'm going to talk about how you can also get over that today, increase your engagement, get your business out there a little bit more, and just take steps that most people don't take that will set you ahead of the pack. So if you don't know me, and I'm sure many of you don't, I started on YouTube in January 2020, and I tell this story all the time. I was a waitress. I had just moved out to Arizona from Syracuse, New York in February 2019. Got a job as a waitress just because I needed to do something, hated it. I didn't want to be a waitress. I'm a terrible waitress, and went through that for about a year. And then just before the pandemic, which I obviously didn't realize was going to happen, I decided to just quit because I wanted to do something different. And my main goal in my life is to become an actress. I love acting. It's my main passion. And I wanted to bridge the gap between, waitressing and working in film. So I figured if I built an audience for myself, I would be able to be more marketable. And that's actually exactly what happened. So started my YouTube journey in 2020. Like I said, within 4 months, I had 100,000 subscribers. I started my Instagram in May, and that was funneling people from YouTube to Instagram. And that's kind of how I picked up my 50,000 followers there. If you've never seen my YouTube channel, it's gone through a few transformations. And interestingly enough, I was speaking about India and Indian culture just because it was something that interests me. So if you want to put some ideas in the chat of things that interest you that I would look at to kind of give you an idea if you could build a channel around it, I'd love to do that for you. But to speak on that topic a little bit more, a lot of people have the idea that you need to build a YouTube channel that teaches people something for it to be valuable. And that can be true, but a lot of people, myself included, don't necessarily feel like they have something that they can talk about at length. And what I decided to do around that is speak about something I'm interested in. And that's how I managed to grow my channel really fast, because when you can connect to people that way, there's like an automatic need to want to get more because it appeals to their ego. So that's an idea. Thanks, Colleen. I might be speaking a little fast. I have a habit for that. But yeah, like I said, if you have something that you're interested in that you'd like to talk about on YouTube, definitely put that in the chat, and I would mention it for you and give you some tips. But teaching women more about business is a great idea. And Colleen, you started your YouTube channel, which was going really well, but I totally understand it takes a lot of time to create YouTube videos consistently. Anyway, let's see. Next slide. So who are we speaking to in my business specifically? I'll just speak on that in a minute. Ideally, the people who we work with, and this may or may not describe you, are people who want to get to the next level. They really want to stand out. They want to put the work toward their dreams. They want to become thought leaders. They want to become public figures, gain a competitive advantage, and open doors for greater opportunities. Now, I really don't mean to brag or anything, but I really just want to emphasize the possibilities that can happen for you when you build a good social media presence. In less than a year, I went from being a literal nobody waitress to being invited to do magazine articles. I was on digital summits. I have been invited on tons of podcasts. I was literally given movie roles because people just wanted to be able to promote their films to my audience and get that reach. And you may or may not want to be an actor, but that's the kind of stuff that can happen when you have those numbers behind you. So building a social media presence isn't necessarily easy, but it actually is quite simple. And that's something that we teach people who would want to do the things that I just described. Let's see.
So Indy, they're asking if they can see your slides. They want to see your slides. Do you want to show your slides?
Yeah,
I know
sure.
that you didn't have them. I know that you didn't have them created for showing, but they're saying, "Hey, could you show your slides?" So maybe for some of those that are visuals, they'll be able to see what you're showing if you want to share that.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, they're very boring.
That's okay. Maybe they're boring to you, but they might not be boring to someone else here today.
Okay,
so
cool.
Let's try it.
More easily.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's see. Pull it up here.
Yeah, so just go to that slide and hit start from,
Wait, where am I at? Okay, there we go.
yeah, perfect.
Okay, can you see that all right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me pull up the chat. I saw some people wrote something.
Yeah, so the chat that was down here was saying teaching about stress management, Dr. Melissa. And Annie said, hi, I want to teach people about childhood sexual assault and people. It says no survived it, but maybe she's talking about how they survived it.
You
Yeah.
survived it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's an idea. Only thing about that on YouTube is speaking about sex and things like that. It's easy to get flagged that way. So you'd have to go about it in a very I don't know, the word is escaping me.
Discreet.
Discreet,
Discreet.
yeah. A very discreet way, but unfortunately, obviously, that's something that a lot of people can relate to. So you would definitely get attention, but it would be difficult. There would be that extra challenge there.
Yeah, so maybe using the word assault a little bit more than sexual assault, and kind of working your way around that, or using a different word than sexual. So, because they're very adamant, if you go on YouTube, you'll see the difference of them saying, is this a child friendly video? Because there are a lot of videos out there that aren't child friendly. So, kids can easily access YouTube, and we want to protect the kids from things that they shouldn't be hearing or seeing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's right.
Stress management's a good one,
Yes,
though.
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. YouTube videos don't have to be really long. You could just make a few 3 minutes or so, 5 minutes or so. That's a really good way to produce something, get it up there, and not worry about it too much. Stress management is something a lot of people also relate to.
I agree. Yeah. Keeping
Yeah.
them shorter is better, right? Because you get a lot of watch time in the beginning. And something that Indy taught me very early on that has stuck with me is the first 10 seconds, people are deciding if they want to listen or not. So she said, if you don't capture them in the first 10 seconds and say why they need to stay on because of what you're going to be like, the reason why they need to watch, because at the end, you're going to give them, reveal something, right? So give them a reason to stay on. If you don't give it to them in the first 10 seconds, you lose them. Apparently, that's just the world we live in today. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, it's just the short attention span, and there's so much content out there to choose from. You want to make sure you get the information out as soon as possible so that people just know they're not going to have to sit for a few minutes. Getting dressed easier, that's good. Let's see,
That
I've
could
done
be a
research.
fun one.
Yeah, it could be a fun one. I've
Yeah.
spoken to some people who spoke on that topic, and there are channels out there that do really, really well. Fashion, getting dressed, understanding your own style. Yeah.
Tracy, maybe you could do, you know, how in People magazine or one of those magazines they did a this, not that, right? Maybe you could do a series where it was like this, not that, right? You put the outfit together one way and then put the outfit together another way and show them the proper way and put an X on the one of the one they shouldn't be doing. That could be a lot of fun.
I've thought about that, but then I thought I might like offend people.
No,
No,
never worry
you're
about
good.
offending anyone. Indy and I are here to tell you, don't worry about what other people think and don't try and offend anyone. You're showing how you should wear an outfit versus someone might put on maybe a baggy shirt, right, or whatever, not have like earrings on, and then you show it with a belt and you show it with earrings, and so you make that outfit like 10 times better and say not like this, you know, wear it like this. So I think if you already had that idea, go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for mentioning that. That's a good talking point for a second. Being controversial is actually a really, really good idea on social media, because then you're not in the middle of the road and people don't have to be like, oh, she's cool, but not that interesting. If someone either loves you or hates you, there's an emotional response, and they're more likely to either, hey, engage with your content and tell you how ridiculous you are, or they're going to subscribe because they absolutely agree and love what you said. So definitely better to be polarizing. Let's see.
There's another one. Yeah, Grace Ann asked a question, Indy.
Yeah, using YouTube, there's no need to buy a subscription for YouTube. It's completely free. The only thing you would really need to pay for is if you don't want to have ads on your videos, but that's obviously just a choice you could make whenever. Review books by survivors. Yeah, that's a good one. Personal, yes. The more personal you can be, the better. The more you can talk about yourself, your own experiences, the more people can relate to you, the better. Thank you. Awesome.
I love the reviews of books. That's easy.
Yeah.
Because if you notice on Indy's page, she did a lot of reviews of shows and people like that breakdown. So that's easy. You don't even have to come up with content. You're just taking books and doing different reviews of them. So that's a great idea.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to be creative with that too. Okay, I've got the chat. It kind of disappeared, so I'll have to pull it up again in a minute. But yeah, so if the person I described a few minutes ago isn't necessarily you, if you're happy with where you are, you don't necessarily have those bigger goals, those bigger ambitions to be, in the public eye more, you can still use the tips that I'm going to show you for social media. And I've made a list of some benefits here for business owners specifically, including you can tell your story much more easily on social media than you can with, I don't know, writing books and doing newspaper, I don't know, articles. If people even do that anymore, I don't know, probably not, but much faster, much easier to get in front of a lot of people quickly. You can grow an audience with a small budget or no budget. I didn't spend a dime when I was building my audience, which was really awesome. There was no paid promotion whatsoever, 100% organic. You can stay top of mind with your potential customers. Again, if you're consistent when you post, the more consistent you are, the more touches you get. And I think, Colleen, you told me the other day that you knew it was like 12 to 15 touches or so before someone buys something from you. You're muted.
Dang it. I never mute myself. And then when I do, I don't know I'm muted. So I was in marketing for, the last 18 years when I was coaching in corporate America. I was very heavily into marketing and it was always 8 touches. That was kind of the research of what broke down. But remember, that was emails, that was, postcards we were sending in the mail back then. That was ads in a magazine. That was maybe them seeing you on your website. The world looks a lot different today. So now it's more like 14 to 24 impressions because it's oversaturated. But if you think about it, 14 to 24 impressions is not hard to reach when you're everywhere. We have 8 social media platforms just at your fingertips that you probably use every day. And a lot of those you post in one place and they'll spread to 6 all at one time. So think about that. You can get 6 impressions on the exact same conversation all by a touch of a button. So that's already 6. How many more could you get by cross-promoting on YouTube, Instagram, but then driving them, right? So you're driving them from one to another. And I know that Indy will get into that.
Yes, yep. Just to go through the rest of these real quick, learning about your competitors, social media, everyone kind of puts it out there. So it's a great way to see what they're doing and emulate them, especially if they're doing really well. Obviously, you can promote your products and services. In fact, Instagram is a really good way to sell lower priced digital products. Not a whole lot of commitment there. People can kind of scroll through your page, see what you've been doing, especially if you promote yourself enough. And that's something a lot of people don't do. But the more touches you get, again, the easier it is, and the more you can communicate with them, the easier it is for them to go to your website and just buy that small digital product and enter your funnel. Increasing your return on investment. This refers to the amount of money that you're spending on Instagram ads versus traditional ads, which can be extremely expensive. On Instagram, you could promote your page for as low as $5 a day, as many days as you want. So that's really cheap. Increasing brand awareness, of course, and creating relationships with your target customers.
Did you guys know that? I want to ask that question. Raise your hand if you knew that you could promote on Instagram for that cheap. Did anyone know that? Okay.
No. Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people on Facebook, but, I look at LinkedIn and Instagram as probably where most of the people are, especially LinkedIn if you have a business. If you're not on there, you need to be. And I don't even know, Indy, maybe you'll even touch on LinkedIn while we're on here because those platforms are just as important.
Yes, I definitely will. Okay. Awesome. I can't see the chat, but okay.
I think they're connecting with each other real quick. So unless someone has something, it looks to me like Amariam is, so okay, someone's connecting with someone else. So you're okay, keep rolling. I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Thank you, cool. Okay, so why YouTube and Instagram? Why do I speak about these topics? Why did I choose them? So YouTube has the best discoverability of any platform. It is so easy to commit to YouTube and actually get really, really good returns in a short amount of time because of the way people can search on it. In fact, YouTube is the second most used website, second most searched website behind Google. And Google actually owns YouTube. So when you look for a YouTube video, it will show up, or rather when you search something on Google, rather, the YouTube videos that relate to that search will show up first. So obviously that's a really good way to increase your SEO for your website. It's a really good way to get seen on topics that maybe are super saturated, but if you make YouTube videos about them, you go automatically to the top of the search results.
Did you
It's
guys
easy to
hear
make.
that? Did everybody hear what she just said? I just want that to sink in. Tell me the last time you went looking for a video and you didn't go watch it on YouTube because that was the first thing that came up. Is that right, everyone? Yeah, am I seeing everyone's head? Like, I go to YouTube for every video. My husband fixes everything in the house with a YouTube video. He's put everything together with that. I did too. How to do crown molding when I did the crown molding in my house last summer that I posted on social media. You guys, everybody is watching YouTube videos. It's like if I have to do something myself or look for information, I'm going to Google. Google pulls up YouTube videos. So if that doesn't tell you enough right there why you should be doing your videos and posting them on YouTube, that's the reason why right there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Colleen. Yeah, I guess I spend so much time with this stuff, I just don't realize how impactful it can be.
I do.
Yeah.
I'll help you with that part because I get really passionate and excited. So
Thank you. Yeah, and there's also the opportunity to make money when you post on YouTube enough. So I monetized my account at, oh geez, it was like probably 3 or 4 weeks into my YouTube journey. I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, and that's where you can start making money back for ads that run on your videos. Now that's the hardest mark to get to, but once you are there, it's all downhill. I'm meaning like it's a ball rolling downhill. It's a lot easier to grow fast. And again, that's how I hit the 100,000 in 4 months after you get to the 1,000 point. So about Instagram, it's highly visually compelling. It's really good for storytelling. You can be very personable. You can be open, vulnerable with your audience. It's a good way to really show off your personality more so than on Instagram or YouTube rather, where it's a lot more educational. It's super easy to use Instagram. You could just upload within a couple minutes. It's great for pushing lower priced digital products, like I mentioned earlier, and it's a massive opportunity to sell tangible products. The
can we
idea
talk
of
about that for a
yes,
second? Yeah, I want to
yes.
talk about the pushing the lower price digital products, right? Because we all have high ticket offers. This is not the place to be selling your highest ticket offer, right? That's not, unless you're sponsoring and promoting and you see, people out there, if you have an event coming up, a great way, right? Low ticket offer if you have a low ticket price to an event. But the low price digital products get people on your lead gen list, right? So now you've got them in your community. Now you can continue nurturing them because you're selling them maybe a low price digital product or free digital download product. Now you get to nurture them and get them in your community, and that's when you can start selling them the higher price ticket items. So I just want to make sure that landed with everybody.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. I've seen there's this one Instagram profile that I like to follow. It's the Money Realtor. So she's a realtor, and she got started on Instagram by selling like a $27 ebook about buying a home. Ended up scaling that to like $100,000 in sales within 3 months. So a lot of her things that she talks about, I've been using on my own account and on other people's accounts. And although I don't have someone who sells a similar product like that, what she teaches is really effective and helpful in increasing your engagement. And it's just like proof how easy it is to sell a lower price digital product and do really well on Instagram.
Yeah, so there's a couple posts I just want to go over real quick. Donna said, are you posting videos on Instagram, posts, ads? What are you doing?
You can post any of the above, although ads, not so much. It depends on what you mean by that. Promotions, yes. Ads, no. A lot of people do, or some people that I've seen rather, just like constantly post a bunch of ads. It's always sales copy. It's always talking about discounts and promotions and stuff. It's not fun to look at, and it's not interesting either. So what I tend to do is a mixture of videos, pictures of myself, graphics that you make on Canva that are really educational. And I guess I didn't make any slides about this, but I can kind of describe. So what you want to do with Instagram is post either educational content, you might want to write this down, educational, entertaining, or relatable content. Now, educational, that's going to be the graphics that I just mentioned. A lot of people surprisingly don't know that you can post multiple pictures in one post, and it's like a carousel, so you can swipe between them and include more information than just on one of the squares. So that's what I tend to do. It's really easy to make in Canva. I can explain that later on in more detail. Entertaining content can be anything from like memes to pictures of you that are funny and cute to stories, videos, and then relatable content is that really personal, vulnerable stuff that makes people go, you know what, I think she knows exactly what I'm going through, or I know exactly what she's going through, which builds that connection that can help convert people into clients.
Indy, are you going to get into the difference between story, post, reels, IGTV at all? Is that coming up right here?
I could, yeah. There's a lot of stuff to cover considering it's
We'll
YouTube
talk
and
about that
Instagram.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. These are just some stats. 81% of people use Instagram to research products and services, which is crazy. 2 out of 3 people say they think Instagram helps foster relationships with brands, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people, tons of people will find something on Instagram and be interested in buying it. In fact, there's another stat at the bottom there. 31% of people making more than $75,000 a year are on Instagram. So they tend to be younger, yeah, 18 to 29-year-olds, but a lot of people on Instagram have that disposable income, whereas on Facebook, maybe not so much. There's more people, but they're not necessarily wealthier people. And I'll just keep going. Stats are boring. This is an interesting one. 74% of American adults use YouTube. So there's a massive, massive opportunity to get in front of your ideal audience on YouTube. A little bit more so than Instagram, since I mentioned Instagram's mostly younger people.
And all 11 of my grandkids use YouTube.
Right,
YouTube kids. I don't know. They have such educational stuff on there that the parents let them watch. It's crazy. They'll like do the ABCs with Play-Doh. It's really fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly, you can't promote anything to kids. Obviously, they don't have any money. So,
right.
But yeah, it's just a funny thing. 70% of people bought from a brand after seeing it on YouTube. That's a crazy stat. All right, the perfect storm. Now this is for those people who really want to kind of start to focus on social media and really make a difference in their marketing and their branding and their business. So this is a strategy for exploding your presence on social media. And we learned this through over a year of research and experimentation. The first element of the perfect storm obviously meaning everything coming together and just creating an explosion, is discoverability. So if you are active on highly discoverable platforms, specifically YouTube and LinkedIn, which is also a highly discoverable platform, you are much more likely to see the growth and the results that you want. So we usually recommend people choose YouTube and Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You don't need to be on 10 different platforms. There's like TikTok, you got Facebook, you have Twitter. Don't bother with Twitter. It's like nothing.
Pinterest,
Pinterest. Yeah, tons. You only need to pick 2 or 3, whatever you're comfortable with. The more active you are, the more discoverable you will be.
Hey, Indy, I want to share something real quick with them. Not to interrupt you. I just want to share something that just happened to me the other day. Some of you might have seen a post that I posted about the Voices of Women for International Women's Day yesterday. I sent messages and posted on LinkedIn last Thursday. I also posted it on Facebook. I don't think I posted it on Instagram, just Facebook. I got 0 clicks through Facebook, and I have tons of people following me on Facebook, right? Thousands of people in my personal, and like over 6,000 or 7,000 people. On LinkedIn, the very few people and me posting it and the very few people that I sent messages to, I got like 20 click-throughs and they signed up for it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm just sharing with you how insane the difference is between the oversaturation on Facebook and how I feel like the algorithms work and people don't see it come up in their feed. Then on LinkedIn, they see it come up in their feed. And so I want you to highly consider looking at LinkedIn as an opportunity. And I love that she chose, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. I think we need to consider, is Facebook really where all of our customers are all the time?
Yes, that's a good thing to take into consideration. A lot of people do use Facebook. It's the #1 most used social platform. But again, it's, like you said, very saturated and really hard to stand out and get engagement on. You really have to go above and beyond on there. So LinkedIn's a really good idea. Second element is consistency. This might be obvious, but if you post regularly on a schedule, you are much more likely to be seen or noticed by the algorithm and shown to more people. Actually, that's probably not obvious. Let me go over that again. The more consistently you post, if you post every day at the same time, people start to recognize, oh, I can expect a new post from this person at this time. So not only does your audience start to look out for what you're posting, and then you get those touches more easily, the algorithms of each social media platform will take that into account and help you grow. So they will start to work with you rather than against you. There are so few people who do this that's how, and that's one of the ways that you can stand out to the algorithm, just by doing that. It's so simple, but it doesn't happen very much.
That's the most important thing I think you shared
Mhm.
today. If you guys
Yeah.
put it in your calendar every morning to do for 15 minutes to do a video and post on LinkedIn or YouTube or Instagram, you're done for the day and you've done it
Mhm.
consistently Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's that simple. Ideally, you also kind of get an idea of when your audience is on the platform, and that's a better time to post. But as long as you're consistent with it, you can get a leg up over tons and tons of people. The third element of the perfect storm is differentiation. This is a little bit trickier, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So what you want to do is make different content for each platform. This gives people a reason to follow you in multiple places. Now you can recycle this content. You don't always have to make something brand new. In fact, you can post something on Instagram and then post the same exact thing a month later on YouTube. That's what I mean by recycle. But ideally, when you post all in one day, it's something different on each. So one way, and this is a pro tip, if you really want to get into using social media effectively and efficiently, making videos is one way to exponentially multiply the amount of content you can put out, because one full-length video can be turned into 10-second clips. You could take quotes from the video, quotes that you said, and make those into graphics. You could write articles based on what you said in the video. You can take screenshots of your video. You could write blogs around what you said. So let's say you make 10 videos. This would probably take you, I don't know, for like 7 minutes a piece, a little over an hour, maybe 2 hours. Then you have content for a month if you go back through and break those videos down into different pieces of content. And obviously this takes a little bit of time, but like I mentioned way earlier, this is the kind of stuff that will help you differentiate yourself from the crowd and get that leg up that will bring you to the next level and get you closer to your dreams. Just like what I did last year. I wanted to be an actress. I did the extra stuff that no one else was willing to do, and I made it work. So like what I did on YouTube, I spoke about the interests of my audience, which helped bring people to me really fast because everyone likes to have their ego stroked. And then on Instagram, I just showed off my own personal life. Those are two different types of content that cause people to follow me on both platforms. All right. And then Instagram Essentials. So this is a little bit more about the engagement, ways to increase your engagement. How many people know what their engagement is on Instagram? Or
I just want to see a raise of hands. Do you guys know what your engagement percentage is? Okay, that's a no.
Yeah.
That's a no. I don't know if anyone raised their hand, did they? Okay. Oh no.
Tracy.
Tracy knows. Way to go, Trace.
Good. Yeah. It's really easy to find out. Usually if you just type in Instagram engagement calculator into Google or whatever search engine, you'll come up with several websites that you just type your username into and it'll show you. So the ideal and the average Instagram engagement rate is 3 to 5%. If you have a personal page where you just post like regular stuff and your family and friends follow you, you probably have a much higher engagement rate than that. But once you start posting business stuff, if you can get it between 2 and 5% or 3 and 5%, you're doing really, really well.
That's a good, you know what? That might be a good question, Indy, to talk about because people have asked me that all the time. Do I need to create a business page or do I just stick with my personal page? And if I'm going to be honest, because I have my personal pages on Facebook as well as LinkedIn as well, right? That's where all my followers were. To me, I should have just stayed with all that and then just like started doing lead up through all those. Now I started lead up separately. So I have separate friends and followers. I have separate people that follow me on the business page. I have my personal Instagram. So people that follow me on my personal aren't seeing the other one. So I say, now this is my opinion, but Indy, I would love to know what your thoughts on that is. I've been told you should just stay with the one platform you're on and just that is you. It's you. It's who you are. It's your business. It's everything about your life and your business.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both. Starting a new page and using your original page. One of the pros to starting a new page is that you can start to build a following that's exactly the type of person that you would sell to. So that means that you don't have to work around all these other people who aren't going to buy your stuff, but they're going to engage. If you do build your business on top of your personal profile, that can make it a lot easier because you're already getting engagement, which will help your stuff be shown to more people. And that's what Instagram takes into account when they decide who gets to see what and how often. It's how much people are engaging with your content. So yeah, you can start over and really build that brand intentionally with people. And in fact, one thing I just want to throw in here, you don't need thousands of people on Instagram to sell. You only need like a couple hundred or so people who are exactly who you want to target to start selling your product. That doesn't mean you're going to make hundreds of dollars a month, but you'll definitely get the ball rolling there. And then you can get the testimonials and stuff that helps you grow more. So yeah, pros and cons to each. I personally would probably stick with, I would build on top of my personal page. Yeah, I would
So
go
would
personal
I.
to business. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
if I could go back to that, I would have done the same thing because you can't merge them now. So there's no
Yeah.
merging. So it's difficult because I have to kind of post on both pages. So I share a lot of stuff to my personal page and it just
Mhm.
becomes a pain in the butt. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So ways to increase your engagement on Instagram. Adding value, like I mentioned earlier, entertaining, educational, and relatable content. If it's one of those three, that kind of covers all the possible things you could post on Instagram. If it's not one of those three, you probably just are better off not uploading it. It could hurt your engagement rate. Long captions are a lot better than short captions. Captions are where you want to go into the storytelling, talk more in detail about your experience or your product or whatever. People are more likely to read through a longer caption if you use like a headline at the top that's more attention grabbing. And one thing that I want to emphasize here is you can promote yourself on every single post, but the key is saving it for like the bottom 1/4 of your caption. So your content doesn't say necessarily anything about your business or what you're selling, and the top 3/4 of your caption doesn't either. But in every single post, you can mention, I have this sale going on, or I'm selling this, or go to my website, check this out. And people are going to be okay with that. It's not going to be an over promotion, like I mentioned earlier, with that just ads, straight ads. So that's a pro tip. Hashtag strategy is also really important. This little picture that I have shows you the very easy way to create a hashtag strategy and do it every time you post. So what you want to do is post between 20 and 30 hashtags with every post. Now, hashtags are the only way that Instagram can sort your post where it's supposed to be and where people are going to find it. If you don't use hashtags, or if you use hashtags in a poor way, you're not going to be discovered at all. So ideally what you do is post or find 10 hashtags that are small, meaning they have it's 100,000 or less posts associated with them. And the way to know that is to go to the search bar within Instagram, the tags tab, and then you type in the hashtag that you're thinking of using or a word that relates to your content. And you look at these numbers, the little numbers in gray underneath the hashtag. So we have 8.1 million, 608 million. Those are huge hashtags that are overused. So you want to avoid those. If you find one that has less than 100K posts, that's considered a small hashtag and you can use it. You also want to find 10 hashtags, so we're at 20 now, that are medium size, so between 100K and 500K other posts. And then you want to find a couple, like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 more hashtags that are large. So this gives you a little bit of a chance to be seen on a more saturated hashtag, but you also have those smaller ones where you're going to be much more easily found.
Sam,
So
there
it's
was a couple questions real quick.
yeah.
Does IG, what type of software do you use to turn videos into clips, pictures, etc.?
Good question. So what I usually do is record my videos on my iPhone, and then in iPhone, on my phone, there's an app that I use. It's just iMovie, super simple. But if you record with like a webcam or something or directly to your computer, I use, it's called OpenShot Video Editor. It's just a super basic, free, open source video editor. But of course, that can be a little bit more complex to use. If
I
you have
think
an iPhone, go ahead.
WeVideo. Do I use WeVideo? Which one? I think it's WeVideo is the one I use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WeVideo works too, although you have to pay to get some more of
Yeah.
the tools. But if you're just cutting it, you could probably use the free version.
Okay. I hope that answered your question, Tracy. The other one is, does IGTV count toward engagement on Instagram if the 1 minute clip is on my profile? Did you hear that? So you might need to go back and read it. Does IGTV count toward engagement on Instagram if the 1 minute clip is on my profile?
Yes, that'll count towards your engagement. I guess, the tricky thing on Instagram is that I found personally that videos don't always get the best engagement, just because often people don't want to listen to the whole video to find the information they're looking for. So if you can subtitle them, or if you can take that video and break it into quotes, that's a much better way to get engagement. But if you want to kind of vary your content, definitely go for videos, and it does count toward your engagement.
And then Princess, which, by the way, I love that name. I don't know why my mom didn't name me Princess. So Princess said, what goes in the caption if not your business? So she's saying, for these long captions that you're talking about, if I'm not talking about my business, then what am I talking about?
You can talk about your business, but the way that you speak about it isn't necessarily from a promotion standpoint. So if I were to talk about my business in a caption, I would describe like what I've gone through in the years as I've built it, and how much I love it, and struggles or things like that people can relate to. And then the promotional part, check this out, or go do this, or buy this now, is in the bottom 1/4. Does that make more sense?
It does. And I also want to invite all of you to, because most of you already follow Instagram, Lead Up for Women on Instagram. And if you don't, I'm going to invite you to do so. But all those posts out there, you'll see the captions, and Indy wrote all those. So she's writing all those about me and my experiences and what I've been through. And it's very relatable content for Lead Up for Women. So go look at those, and go to Indy Rossi's Instagram, go to my Instagram, look at the long captions that she writes that shares what I've been through in the past and how it's relatable to the content. And it could be a quote, because she's doing a lot of quotes of women in history, because it's Women History Month every day. So a lot of those quotes, the captions have a lot to do with things I've been through in my life based on the quote that's on the female that said the quote. And then at the bottom, it has, the hashtag. So you guys could see a really good example of what she's talking about for the strategy there.
Yes, definitely. You could for sure do that. And then the other thing that I think a lot of people overlook is just going to see who's really doing well in your space and just copying what they do. You don't have to be that original all the time. It's totally okay to rip someone's like structure, not necessarily their content, but their structure, and just do that yourself. It doesn't have to be original. So that's the hashtag strategy. I hope that was clear. If anyone has questions on it, I'd love to go into more detail about that, but that's really, really important for Instagram. Having a good bio is another thing. As soon as people go to your page, you want them to be able to know exactly what they're going to be getting. So Colleen's page is is a pretty good example for that, and any major brand also. And then DMs. So this is somewhat new, but the way that social media has been evolving and the way the internet has affected the way we buy things means that now we're kind of going back in time to where sales was very personal. You'd speak directly to someone about what you want to buy. Nowadays, instead of just people buying stuff because it sounds good, you have to make that personal connection again. So what I recommend very often is, if you have someone new commenting on your page, or even someone who's been there before, reach out to them in your DMs and just say, hey, thanks for that engagement. How are you? And then you're going to start to build that relationship with them, and it may or may not lead somewhere. Like they could become your best client or not, but that's a gamble that you need to take if you want to actually get ahead of the pack in selling on social media. So that's pretty much all I have.
Someone just put in the chat right now. Donna said, are you still taking clients for Instagram posting, Indy? Because I need help. So I said, yes, she's going to speak about that next. So if you want to unshare, we'll keep you pinned. And then let's open it up for questions. And then I really feel like video, Ask a fabulous platform for videos, very user friendly. Martha said, Video Ask is a fabulous platform for videos. I've never heard of that one. So that's great. Thanks for sharing, Martha. And Martha, I haven't seen you forever, so welcome to our Teaching Tuesday. It's great to have you here. So let's open up the floor for questions. And then actually, you know what? Indy, why don't you share your offer that you have today? Because you have an incredible offer, and I know it's very limited because you only have 4 spots left. But will you talk to them about what you've been doing? You've been hijacking people's accounts, and I think it's a freaking brilliant strategy, by the way, ladies. Brilliant strategy as a business owner. So let's talk about that.
Thank you, Colleen. Yeah, it's been working out really well, and it's a lot of fun for everyone involved. And it's the 5-day challenge. So a lot of people may dream of having someone run their Instagram account for them with the complete branding, content creation, profile optimization, hashtags, everything done for you. But that tends to be a lot of out of a lot of people's price range. So I will do that for you for 5 days for only $130. So it's like a $375 value. But if you want to get a taste of your profile being run by a pro, I would love to work with you. And it's a great way for me to get to know your business as well for referral purposes. And it gives you more time to catch up on something else you may have been working on that you spend time on posting on Instagram. So
Yeah, and
that's my offer.
that includes a $30 ad spend. So technically, you're getting her for 99 bucks to create all that content, research all your. Okay, so Heather said she's in. She's the first one. Donna said sign me up. So there's 2. We only have 2 spots left.
Yes.
Lynn Lee said she's in. So there's only 1 spot left. So I know, Indy, you mentioned to me you might possibly have another spot open by the end of the month, but it would probably, the next spots would be in April. So we'll have to see. And Melissa said she already has an appointment set up with you, Dr. Melissa. And Martha said she's in. So it sounds like they're in. So Indy, if you can get them the information, and you want to set like your, I have your Calendly link here. Why don't I drop that in here for you guys? So you guys have her Calendly link, because I think that's going to be important. Whoops, hold on. Let me copy and paste this in. But that includes a $30 ad spend. And so technically she's doing it for $99 and then using $30 to do that for you. And then after that, because this is, she didn't have the 5-day challenge when I met her back then, but she handles all my content 5 days a week. So she doesn't just do the challenge. If you really see a change and you like the way that she handles your account, then you can hire her for several different areas of whether you want all hands on deck and she does everything for you every month, or if you want her just to handle some content, or she's got different variations of that. But I like jumping in and having the taste of what she can do first, and then you guys can decide from there if you wanted to do it yourself, or if you want to put yourself out of misery like I did, and then just hire her to do it for you. Because then I don't ever have to worry about it anymore.
Yes, thank you, Colleen. That's exactly how it works. I see Tracy's question. Can you help with LinkedIn and YouTube? We could definitely help you with YouTube. LinkedIn is not necessarily our specialty, but actually Gelly Ackenblit is a good person to speak to about that.
She does a lot of LinkedIn. If you guys aren't connected with her, she's at Networking Phoenix is the name of her company. And she has a membership that's a year long. And I really love her. And you can join, anyone can join now since we went, in the pandemic, she went international. So you don't have to be in Phoenix. So I recommend once you're part of her group, you can, go to Passport. In fact, she partners with me and has codes for her members to be able to come to my events for free. There's some more questions going on. Let's see if we can catch all these. I don't know if you're seeing them come through. Hold on.
Yes. I see Donna's question.
Okay.
How about Facebook? Like I mentioned earlier, Facebook isn't necessarily a platform where you could be discovered very easily, and I haven't incorporated it. In fact, I don't really use it at all. So there are other people who would be better off helping you with Facebook if it is what you want to use. Let's see.
I'm going to find the Networking Phoenix website real quick so I can post that for you guys. And then I definitely say you go find her on LinkedIn, okay? All right.
Yes.
Any other questions? If you need to take yourself off mute to ask a question, you can. I want to make sure we cover everything before we wrap up today. Indy, how much are you for hire for past the 7 days?
So that depends on how many days you would want me to upload for you. Describe the 5-day challenge. So I guess I'll go for the management pricing. So I do either 3-day or 5-day management. 3-day is going to be $900 a month. 5-day is going to be $1,500 a month.
And it includes how much ad spend?
That includes, let's see, for the $900, that's $100 a month. And for the $1,500, that's going to be $200 a month.
Yeah, so that includes ad spend. So you guys don't have to pay the additional money for ad spend. So I actually like that because it's just included. You know, that's
Yes.
a great opportunity. And then someone asked about the 5-day challenge again, if you could kind of go over that.
Yeah, the 5-day challenge is essentially a taste of full-time management where I upload 5 days a week for you. I'm going to create all your content that's fully branded, and we're going to speak about your audience and things so you get a little bit of clarity in there as well. I'm going to optimize your profile, do your hashtag research and competition research, and we're going to do a paid promotion for you included.
For those of you that said you're in, will you do me a favor and throw your emails in the chat? I think that would be easier for Indy to get back with you. That way, as soon as she's done today with this morning, she can reach out to you. So a phone number, email, if you guys want to drop those in there, it'll be faster for her to get back with you today to go ahead and get you guys set up and get going on the 5-day challenge. Because she's not going to know all of that information right away. All right, there they go. And then you can just save your chat, yeah, if that works. So go ahead and drop those in there so she can reach out to you right away today and get you guys rolling on setting that up. Oh, I'm so giddy. That's so fun because you guys are going to love this. I have to say, you know, I remember when I met Indy and she took over my Instagram when she really migrated more, you know, from the YouTube to Instagram. And she told me that my engagement sucked. I was like, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So why do I want my engagement to be high? I said, why don't you want more followers? And she told me followers are vanity. And I was like, well, okay. She said, having followers is just a vanity number. You don't want to just focus on your followers. You want to focus on your engagement because those are the people that are going to buy your products or interact with you, that are going to sign up for something or, download a free digital download. And I have found, and no joke, I have to tell you, I have found that when I do a post of like my husband and I's anniversary, and it's just a post of us in Chicago or wherever we were in that moment, it's got like the highest engagement. What does that tell you? That tells you that people want to get to know you. They all want to get to know you. So I can't stress that enough. Make the content about you. That's why they're following you. They want to know you. So you can't do anything wrong when it comes to that. It can't be a stupid photo, or it could be you sitting at home with your dog or laying out by the pool because the weather's finally nice. And people love those photos. They just love lifestyle photos and getting to know who you are. So I highly recommend that you consider that.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and that's something a lot of people overlook on business pages, and that's going to help your engagement increase as well.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Our engagement's increased. It doesn't suck anymore, she told me.
No,
right.
Yeah, you're definitely at the top of the average. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to gallery view for all of you that want to come back on gallery view. Any last questions before we wrap up? Because we are just at the last 5-minute mark here. Yeah, go ahead, Donna.
I just wanted to thank you both, Indy and Colleen, for today. This is like an answer to a major visualization, and I need you. And it's just been great content, and there have been, 10 different points that I didn't know. So thank you so much for today. Very appreciative.
Great to hear that. Glad to help. Definitely. If anyone has any questions about anything, just send me an email. For sure. I think I put that in the chat. So yeah.
Yeah, and then Marjorie just jumped on and she was a little late and she said, are we going to be able to have access to this presentation? So for all of you on here, if you want to go back and rewatch any of the pieces, we're live right now on Facebook. So you can go to Lead Up for Women. It's live on there. If you're a member of the Lead Up for Women Facebook community, it's live on there. So that video's on there. You can pull it up, fast forward it to the places. Also, Indy, I will share with you those that are registered for today, so you can go ahead and follow up with them and send out the presentation, and I'll just send you like the cloud Zoom link so you can share that with everyone. So anyone that might have missed it that didn't show up today, because we had 48 registered, so we only had about half the people show up. So don't worry about it, Monica. We'll get the video to all of you, and then Indy, if you could share your Calendly link maybe in that email, as well as the 5-day challenge link for anyone that might be interested. You can get them registered for April.
Cool.
Because the 4 spots are gone. So they weren't here and they missed out. That's the benefit of showing up, right? So,
Right.
yeah. Any other questions? Anyone want to unmute yourself? Okay. All right. So let's talk about what we're doing. Thank you so much, Indy. That was amazing, you guys. Let's show her some love. Yay! It's great. I mean, this is all the information that none of us know. You don't realize how much you have bottled up in that little tiny body of yours, but in your brain, but we need it. So thank you so much for sharing your genius with us today. This is why we do these platforms, ladies. It is incredibly awesome for us to learn all of this, isn't it? All right, so next week we have Doretta Thomas teaching us, and she's going to teach us the importance of life insurance. If you guys don't have life insurance, if you've never thought about life insurance, or even if you do have life insurance, which I do, I'm really interested in the spin she's going to put on this and what she's going to teach us, because she talks about how it saved her through a death of someone in her family. So let's talk about life insurance. You know, these are all the things that might not be fun to talk about, as fun as like Instagram and YouTube, but I believe it's part of life. And so we have to, you know, face the facts that we need to be talking about loved ones that are going to be passing away, and are we prepared for that? We've done estate planning, you name it. We've done how to cook healthy. This is all about everything we need in our lives. So I hope you guys will join us. Let me grab the link very quickly and put it in there so you guys can sign up for the next one that we have next week and make it really easy on yourself. I'll drop that link in there, and that'll be next Tuesday. We generally do these every Tuesday. Sometimes we have to skip a Tuesday because I have something on my schedule for a training I'm doing with clients, or I'm out of town, or we're not able to keep them going. But most of the time we do these every single Tuesday, and I could tell that you guys love them, because last Tuesday when we didn't even have one, I had ladies that were joining and trying to log in, and I was like, sorry ladies, we don't have one today. So I love it that you have it on your schedule. Let's talk about something very important. Time change happens. Daylight savings time happens on Sunday. So you will notice when you go out and register, I'm in Arizona, our time doesn't change. So when you go out to register for these, we're going to be shifting the time a little bit because the whole world is going to be changing all their times. So we will now be at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and noon Eastern Standard Time. It will remind you. I'll go reset everything so your emails come out properly for the hour before and the hour that we start. Just mark it on your calendar. It's going to shift a little bit, okay? So you guys are going to have it at a little different time than you used to unless you're in Arizona. Arizona stays to 9 o'clock, okay? So make sure you guys have that note on your calendar moving forward. I don't want you to miss it. But we go live on Facebook, so not a big deal. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for joining us today. And thank you